All right. There he goes. There he goes.
Yep.
Of course. Now, who's ready for some nice, family-friendly, fun
Nintendo.
Nintendo fun that's not gonna make us question our morality and not gonna make us think, you know? Just gonna be
You know,
nice
you
and
say
fun
that,
and silly.
I remember Mario vs. Sonic 2018 had a lot of fucking blood in it, dude.
Way too much for freaking Mario and stuff. That's why, honestly, for when I do my season 5 ranking, you know how I keep saying like I was too hard on like Luigi versus Tails, and I'm gonna say that in my season 3 ranking for Bowser versus Ganon. I'm gonna say I wasn't hard enough on Mario vs. Sonic 2018 when I did season 5. I was
still
not
like
hard
the
enough.
I still like the episode, but like the characterization, didn't like it
Yeah.
on both sides. I thought Sonic was too much of an asshole, and Mario was
Also too much of an asshole.
also like that. Like
Yeah,
it was borderline psychopath. He was a borderline psychopath, and I didn't like it. It's like what they did to Optimus in Optimus versus Gundam. I didn't like his characterization there either. So
off topic, but
Someone
everything
pointed out to me too. The whole fight just kind of feels like slow in a weird way.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like Sonic is very like much faster than Mario at all. It feels like everything kind of just goes the same speed the whole fight. Nothing really.
To be fair to play devil's advocate for that point, that I think that would kind of like correlate with their research that Mario does have the reaction time to freaking catch an attack.
Yeah, but even then, Sonic is
even then. I feel like Sonic should have actually,
Sonic is the speed guy. Mario's the strong guy. I feel like they should have conveyed that.
I'm not even talking about like, oh, Mario shouldn't have been able to keep up here. I'm talking about stuff like Hypersonic just very slowly picking off.
Yeah, no, and
I
did not like that.
All the Cat Mario's like rushing Sonic, and Sonic just kind of sits there.
Bro just stands there, like, "Aw, come on!" Stares into the camera, be like,
"No,
uh-oh."
Yeah, no, I like. Somebody pointed this out too. It feels like it's very like. It's not a hate piece, but it comes across like it's almost a hit piece on Sonic in a way. Especially like
I feel
during
that.
the final segment where they're falling, and for some reason they have Sonic just kind of like throw sissy punches.
Oh yeah,
no, what
with his eyes closed. Like he has a home.
Dude, imagine how much cooler it would have been if Sonic like winds up for a big punch and Mario just like socks him in the face. Like instead of just like
exactly.
Or like at the very least, you just cut that part out and go straight to the freaking spin dash, and that's when Mario catches it and then freaking does the so long.
I will say this, like Mario catching the spin dash is probably like one of the most badass moments in the show's history.
That is
like that one episode saving grace. That was so cool.
I was gonna say, pretty much everything from when Sonic spin dash or homing attacks Mario after.
Yeah.
Perfect. Just raw as hell. I love it.
And
I find it funny how Mario was more in character at the end when he killed someone and not when he was actually fighting someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. God, that's why I want Mario versus Mickey so bad. I just need I'll take Mario versus Kirby if it means Mario gets done right. I'll take it. I just want Mario to like actually get a good episode because Sonic technically got Archie Sonic versus Flash, which is still kind of an iffy episode, but it was much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, I actually, I feel like I was a bit too harsh on that episode, because, like, looking back on it, yeah, there was definitely a case of missed potential.
Yeah.
But, damn, it was still fun, and, like, I really liked the banter with, like, stuff like Sonic saying, "Say uncle!" and then freaking Wally retorting back with, like, "I'm out of your league, bitch." Fuck
yeah,
off.
But then after that, there's, no banter, so...
Yeah, which
and then
really
Sonic says, "I wish you gone forever."
Oh
yeah,
god,
I'm still not a fan of them having Sonic just directly go like, "Yeah, you're faster than me, so what?"
Even the
so out of
I just find it funny because going by their own research, technically they're the same speed. Wally can just maintain that speed a lot better than Sonic can.
Yeah,
they both have a measurable speed.
He can also steal the speed too.
Yeah, you can also steal this. Well, I guess that's true. But how do you steal immeasurable speed to make yourself even faster? That's like That's fucking
To be
insane.
fair,
That's like
that does kind of sound
Yeah.
very fitting.
I feel like
for a
instead of just
matchup
saying
that.
like, "All right, buddy, you've mastered speed," I think tonic just should have been something like, "All right, buddy, I admit it, you're pretty fast, but I've mastered a lot more than speed," or something like that.
Yeah,
no, honestly, that would have been perfect. It's just like, you may have mastered speed, but I've mastered more than just speed. Like,
yeah.
that was all it would have taken
For
for that
real,
line
yeah.
to have made so much more
not
sense.
only is it not a total character assassination for Sonic, but it still sounds like something he'd say.
Yeah.
Considering that Archie
Yeah.
Sonic can be a bit of a, he could be a bit of a cocky asshole. But to be fair, which Sonic isn't cocky?
Exactly. Just let him be kind of a prick while still showing
The best
that
kind
he
of
can, like,
Sonic
respect
is
Wally.
the cocky asshole without like the asshole part, just cocky. That's
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
best kind of Sonic.
And that's why I like movie Sonic a lot, because he's cocky, but he's not a total dick.
Yeah. All right.
Honestly, yeah, let's just get into the episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna be talking.
For real, we can talk after the
Let's just-
episode.
let's save
Before we
all
start,
this
though,
for the
I just want to brag about this thumbnail I made for Lich King versus Nightmare because I think it was like one of the best thumbnails I ever made. So I'm just gonna brag about
I
that.
think it's peak fiction.
For real. I think it's a pretty cool match, honestly. Like I just thought about it last night.
Yeah.
Like I was rewatching Guts versus Nightmare. I watched Nightmare's analysis. I was like, oh wait a minute, Lich King is kind of similar to him.
This game's kind of similar, yeah.
Like it's actually a lot. It's actually really thematic. Now that I think
yeah,
about it.
That's
definitely.
That's basically me when I discovered Bandana Waddle Dee versus Commander Peepers
I've never heard that one
It's
before.
like- from Wander Over Yonder, because I
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
despise Bandana D versus Hero Prinny. And that's, I will admit, partly because I am biased, because my boy loses, and I don't like that.
I
like,
like that matchup
it's
because
literally-
I like Kirby and penguins are my favorite animal. I've never even heard anything
Fair.
from Desigia, but I like penguins, so
But
it's
like,
kind of a W for me.
I really
I
gotta try
prefer
out this guy at some point.
D versus Peepers because like it's not just freaking basic enemies who wear bandanas and became heroes. It's like there's a lot more to it.
It's
and,
like the enemies who wear bandanas. Like they're kind of
Yeah.
like
but like they're not really enemies anymore. But like
yeah.
with like Peepers,
Was Bandana D ever
because
a villain?
since both him and Waddle Dee don't have any actual powers of their own, so like they don't have like King DDD's shocking lung strength, Meta Knight's brawl powers, and Kirby's just god killing abilities. It's like a lot more fun because you can have them do other things, because Bandana D can like adapt and use like different elements on a spear, and Peepers is a lot more like skilled and in like freaking gunplay and stuff like that. You can do a lot with it. I love it. I love it
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Or on the other side,
For
you
real,
could
yeah.
you could do Bandana Waddle Dee versus Dimitri, both are Nintendo characters who use spears.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh, man! I hate Guts versus Dimitri now. They should have freaking bandana.
That should have been Bandana Waddle Dee.
Never mind. We're not watching this
Oh, yeah?
episode. We're gonna
Oh,
rewatch
yeah?
Phoenix versus Raven.
Does that give us burly men fight? I don't think so.
Actually, it's brutal men. Get it right.
Shit!
Battle of the very brutal men.
I was
That is
playing
so-
Got my own
and
joke
I
wrong.
thought
This
because
episode is
I
sponsored
was
by
like,
BetterHelp
I'll
and
play
Mid-
Byleth because Byleth has a Dimitri skin and Byleth also has Dimitri's weapon and shit like that. And then I freaking I got Ike on random, and I was just like, this is
There you
just by the freaking Dimitri versus Guts at this point.
Yeah. So, in case
Because I mean, outside of like the tragic backstory, freaking Ike and Guts very physically similar.
yeah,
Oh yeah, definitely. At the very
Ike would be
least,
cool.
Yeah. At the very least, they're physically similar in
Appearance.
Path of Radiance, like
Yeah.
Radiant Dawn, like.
dude, this like thing keeps appearing like at the top corner of my screen. Do you see it?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I see that.
It appeared on my Rooster Teeth app too. I don't know what it's going. what it's
Weird.
doing.
My
Maybe it'll-
sister and I both refer to Radiant Dawn Ike as JoJo Ike.
JoJo Ike.
Because he looks like he just walked straight out of JoJo. He's a buff man with very defined facial features. He's a JoJo.
Definitely.
All right.
Alright,
Mint Mobile.
Let's see how it
Let's go.
goes. I'm so excited. Y'all can see and hear it?
Yep.
I'm so happy. Yeah.
Let's
So
go.
excited.
So excited.
So excited to see what the editing is like.
Guts, the
Oh,
brutal
yeah.
black swordsman
Freaking
of
DJ's
Berserk,
back.
and Dimitri, the savage savior
They called
king
him
from
Dude, the
brutal.
Fire.
polka dot thing's
Let's
back.
go.
Why do they
They
keep
called
like...
him
Malicious
brutal.
force that
Ooh,
can turn
Incredibles.
anyone into a broken,
Ooh, Incredibles. I
traumatized,
love Incredibles.
unstoppable one-man army. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
If they include
and it's our job to analyze
Fire
their weapons,
Emblem
armor, and
heroes,
skills to find out who would win.
doesn't that
Death
get
Battle.
like the characters to like Universal or something?
Like multiversal.
In the realm
Oh my
of
God.
Ireland, life
Yeah,
really
no,
sucks
they
on
better
the
not.
realm.
I just got a text from
Demons run
Costco.
rampages, get
I
pillages,
was gonna
and a
say,
helpless elf fairy
Heroes
has
is
become
canon.
target practice for some thugs. Batter up!
Yeah.
Until walking into the
Canon
torment
directly
comes a
to
stranger clad in
characters,
black,
so-
cleaving
So,
through
like, if
anyone
they
just
who comes
imagining,
upon
like,
humongous
Couldn't include it.
Wiz,
Yeah.
that weapon is too big to
It
be
really
called a
shouldn't.
sword. Too
I'm
massive
just
and
I
big
feel
imagining,
like that
like-
would
like
kind of be a
slab
bit
of raw
unfair
iron
considering
that no
Grovyle
normal
can get to
man
like
can wield.
multiversal as well.
Except for
So
the man with a simple but
Yeah.
fitting name, Guts.
I'm kind of like
What is
imagining
it
like
that makes
Make it
Guts
fair.
so
like some young
terrifying?
kid like
Well,
watching
we're
Death
about to
Metal
get
how
into
I
some
used to
really,
watch it and just
really
seeing
dark
Guts'
shit. Fair
backstory.
warning. Born from his
Bruh.
mother's
Oh my
recently
God,
like-
yeah.
Like we'll be like, oh, a cool
This
swordsman.
in by a mercenary band led by Gambino, who definitely isn't winning
God,
Father of the
did I
Year.
ever mention what
Gambino
my
put
first
Guts
death battle
through the
was?
ringer,
What
training
was
him
it
with
for
What was
someone
it?
way too big for him
It
before
was
putting him into
Batman
live
versus
combat at
Spider-Man,
only 9
which
years
I saw
old.
on my
Training
recommended
with such
feed as a
large
small
swords made
child
Guts
because
inhumanly
I was
strong,
getting Lego
but
Batman
he
2 and
needed
I was
a
very
different kind of
excited. I was
strength
like,
Oh,
oh, I
God.
love Spider-Man and
abuse he
Batman.
suffered from Gambino.
Traumatized
So he
by
murdered
the
the
kill in that
bastard
one.
in self-defense.
That's-
I don't even
oh,
remember
that's
what my first
my
Death Battle was,
first
but
Death
like
Battle- Mario versus Sonic 2011.
For
Yeah.
years as a lone mercenary until he caught the eye of the ambitious Griffith. Impressed by
That's
Guts'
a
bold
woman.
battle
I was gonna
prowess
say
and
like
blunt
when
honesty,
I was like I
Griffith
refuse to believe that's a
wanted
man, bro.
So Guts joined his
He
mercenary
looks too much like a
group, the
woman. I
Band
can't
of
Remember when
unsee
everyone
it.
was freaking out over that like
Gutsy
one
fighting
like
style made him the perfect captain.
Scarlet and
The
Violet
dude was
gym leader?
hardcore enough to fight
Oh my
100
God,
enemy
the-
soldiers on
yeah.
his own, and even helped end a 100-year-long
Grisha.
war. Oh well,
Yeah.
earning respect and glory with Griffith and his group.
Honestly,
For the first time, Guts
the only
found
one I
true
remember
friends
is
and
Larry
comrades
because he's
to
just a
rely on.
mood. I
But
love
when
Larry.
Griffith
Yeah.
realized he
Larry.
couldn't keep Guts at his side. Really, really bad things happened. Upon being
Like what?
eclipsed, Griffith summoned a bunch of demons, became a super demon himself, and sacrificed
I was
Guts'
gonna say,
new
there's
friends
a
to
few
the
Griffith
abyss.
matchups I'd
If
love
that
to see
wasn't
on the
bad
show.
enough,
Yeah.
he marked Guts with a demonic brand, then raped his girlfriend Casca, forcing Guts to watch as his
I
eyes
never
split
thought they'd
open and he
actually
was
use
forced
that,
to
yeah.
I mean they
tear
did
off
use
his
it in the
Oh,
first
yeah,
Guts
no.
episode.
Yeah,
Actually, they used
really
it twice.
bad things. Guts barely escaped with his life. He vowed to brutally murder Griffith and every demon, down to the last one. No small task, even for him. And every big task needs even
Dude, even
bigger
though
I
I'm
must
rooting
know.
for Dimitri, I feel
Does
kind of bad
Guts
that
live,
Guts
does
is
Guts
probably gonna
actually
die.
live a happy life, or is he always tormented just because...
Weighing over 300
No, he's always tormented.
pounds, dragging
Oh, really?
Happy
He
ending
just
in
can't live a happy life
There is
anymore?
no happy ending in Berserk.
Plated armor and even demons
My
with
poor
skin
boy.
of corundum, a real-life metal that is harder than steel. And since
'Cause of
Guts
course
has
it
made
is.
To be
killing
fair,
demons his
I don't
favorite
think Berserk
pastime,
is, like,
Dragon Slayer was
over
exposed to
Holy
so
shit.
much
currently,
demonic blood
or at the very
that it
least, like,
exists on the astral plane,
the
meaning
creator
it
of
can
it
harm
ended
any
up passing
supernatural
away
monster.
before he could
God,
finish
God,
it.
this thing's heavy. Guts
So-
also carries a collection of explosives
Bro,
and throwing
Boomstick
knives,
got the
but
Dragon
I'm
Slayer,
partial to
bro.
his mechanical
Very
arm, complete with a
unsatisfying
wondrous invention
end
of a
in the
repeater
sense that,
crossbow
like, it
and a
didn't
secret
get to
cannon.
end.
God,
Yeah.
that's neat and all, but they aren't as
Maybe
It's
one day
sad.
we'll see it return.
God, how does he do
Sure,
this?
yeah.
Okay, the
Maybe.
repeater crossbow is pretty cool. It can
Someone-
fire
someone
a
else will
volley
have
of
to take up
4 to 5
the
bolts per
mantle,
second,
but-
making it the go-to option for mowing down groups of bad guys. And hey, if you gotta lose your hand, replacing it with a goddamn super gun is the way to go. Even demons are
Real.
afraid of this thing.
If I ever lose
See
my
ya,
arm, I'm
Snakeface.
gonna replace it with
his
like some
collection
like
of weapons and indomitable
Winter Soldier
will,
type
Guts
shit.
slaughtered everyone. and
Yeah,
everything
absolutely.
Yeah,
in
I
his
wanna-
way.
I
Be it
wanna-
an army of
If
trolls,
I
a
ever lose my
supersonic
arm, I want it to
Hellberry,
be
or
like
some
I want my
blows
prosthetic
like
arm to look
cannon.
exactly
While Guts
like
took the
Hellboy's
physical
right-handed
challenges in
dude.
stride,
Yeah.
his mental
I was
stride
gonna say,
That would
if
be
I,
sick.
if
He
I
had
ever
demons
lose one
to
of
deal
my
with,
arms, I'm
literally
replacing
and
that thing with a Mega
figuratively,
Buster.
Always tormented by his inner beast of darkness. Guts tried to shoulder this trauma alone, even for a time leaving behind Casca, who survived but was mentally broken. Nothing would replace the comrade's guts lost during the eclipse. However, through his resilience, he eventually saw the dangerous path he was on, and so reunited with Casca and eventually came to depend on new companions.
Including pretty boy Serpico. He doesn't look like much, but the guy is fast enough to dodge lightning at speeds over 100 times faster than sound.
Oh, yep, alright, so they're
Guts
giving
has
him the
kept up
lightning
with him more
dodge.
than once.
Yeah.
And thanks to the witch Flora, Guts got his deadliest and riskiest asset, the Berserker armor.
Oh boy. By
That
shutting
looks
down all
awesome.
mental
I know.
limitations, this
Too
armor
bad it
is
doesn't
a
kill you,
huge
it
aim its
kills you.
strength.
Yeah.
Pain means nothing to him
Too
now.
bad,
and it even
Dimitri's gonna
heals
break the
injuries on
fucking
fly.
thing.
Wait,
And
did I
that'll
say
be
I
that?
raw,
actually,
though.
I actually
That
heard
would
that
be very raw.
even
Flesh and
with
bone
like
bones together,
this
so
freaking
they can
berserker
fight
armor.
the last drop
that
of
I've
blood
been
is left in his body.
anticipating in this
Man,
fight,
that's hardcore.
and it's the idea
And
of Dimitri using
extremely
atrocity
risky.
to break through
Donning
the
the armor
berserker
has been nearly
Yeah.
disastrous for him more than
sickest
once.
way to
Yeah, when
finish
he's
this
in a
off.
stitched-up rage,
So,
the
King,
beast of
so,
dark-
given
Unless
that
you
this
know
is
Guts
the
somehow
one you
wins.
really
tempting
wanted, like,
him
who
to
are
go
you rooting
berserk.
for?
Bam! Title drop.
Guts' tenacity is
On-
a sight to
Dimitri.
behold. He's
Dimitri.
held back a demonic dragon,
Definitely
withstood
Dimitri.
being impaled,
I'm
even
actually,
teamed up
I'm
with a
also
fabled
rooting for
demon
Dimitri because my
swordsman to take
Nintendo
down
bias
an
won't let me
apostle
root
that
for
can
anyone
channel
else.
Yeah,
light.
true.
Hand sliced up
But I kind of feel bad
Fair.
going against Guts because, like, the man just...
The man has suffered,
He's
and I do
suffered
love
so
Guts.
much.
And at least he did get one win against Nightmare.
With
So,
its wail,
yeah.
this behemoth created a storm that covered
Actually, never
the
mind, he,
entire
won
island.
because
the
he-
kinetic energy of such a
He's-
storm
he does
is
this
Yeah,
every
he's
day.
engaging
stronger
such
than him
an
every
island,
day,
and
so
never
Dimitri-
mind,
He's
to
gonna-
do such a storm would need to exceed
Gotta win this easily.
600 kilotons of
687
Yeah,
kilotons.
that's
Alright, I'm
good.
writing that
Dimitri
down.
outstats,
Alright.
yeah,
Shells
Dimitri
and
very much
disaster.
outstats him,
He
so he's
needed
at a
to do that and
disadvantage.
much more to reach
But this is what
Also-
Guts
Guts'
does!
sanity was finally returned.
Oh, exactly.
Also-
Dimitri is at a
For the
disadvantage
legendary
because he
black
outstats
swordsman.
Guts.
But that
Yeah.
bastard
Oh,
Griffin
yeah.
just wouldn't leave him alone.
No matter how tragic his tale becomes, Guts will persevere for his allies, both past and present.
He has new friends, a renewed
Did
heart,
Beda-
a
did Berserk
badass
ever
sword,
end?
and the last thing any
No,
man,
like I
demon
said,
or
the
God
creator
wants
passed
to
away
do
before he
is
could
mess
finish
with
it,
him.
so it just
Damn.
didn't
Yeah.
end.
I didn't hear you say that. Dang, that sucks.
This
Yeah.
episode
It
of Dice Battles
does.
brought to you by
Yeah.
BetterHelp.
Sometimes in life you can get stuck with tough choices, and you're not sure.
It's kinda
how to move
ironic
forward.
that
Maybe you're
BetterHelp
afraid
is
of
like-
failure, or heck, maybe you're
It's
afraid
the
of
freaking,
success.
Yeah.
It could
Oh,
be your
oh,
career,
that's
your
third
of all, like,
relationships,
these two
your
need it.
finances.
These two definitely need
Feels
it.
like the instant one
I
problem
remember,
gets solved.
I saw like
Proper work-life balance.
there was someone on Twitter who actually did like fan art
Let
of
therapy be your man
of
with
or
BetterHelp.
not fan art, but like a video, like drawing for their
BetterHelp.com/DeathMetalToday
thumbnail,
to get 10%
where
off
it's
your
just
first
Guts and
month.
Dimitri in therapy, and I love that so much.
Yes.
That God knows they need it.
Shame. I
On
feel
the
so
continent
bad
of
for them.
food
They deserve
lies
so
the
much,
holy
especially
kingdom of
Dimitri because he
Argus,
literally
a
looks like
knightly
me.
nation where
So
the youth learn
Yeah.
to swing a sword before they can write their own name. Prince Dimitri Alexandra Blathid.
oh my
was no
God, it's
exception.
The
me.
kid was a prodigy, able to spar
For
with
you
far
see,
more experienced
Yeah.
Dimitri is
warriors.
handsome.
In part because he was a crest bearer.
Exactly,
Or
just like
someone
me.
gifted mystical power through the blood of the goddess Sothis. Those born
Sothis?
with the crest gain anything from enhanced magic to superhuman strength.
He dislikes
At 9
Edelgard.
years old, Dimitri could lift giant
Don't blame
boulders,
him, she's a
run
bitch.
across mountains
Yeah.
for hours, and constantly broke swords by accident. Most elites who
I
had
want you to
friends
know
also
that,
had a massive ego, but not
if they
Dimitri.
freaking
Dimitri was
as soon as I bring up
strong,
Sothis in my
genuinely kind, like when he gave his childhood friend
in my
Edelgard a
freaking
dagger.
review, I'm gonna make a Sophis Eevee
Odd
joke.
gift?
Yeah.
I got shotgun shells for my first
God.
crush, but life took a turn.
I
for
did that with
Dimitri when
freaking.
a
I did the
mysterious
freaking
brute
TC
murdered
Nick
his
3
dad
joke
and a
with
bunch of knights,
Gene
burning
versus
them all
Raven.
in front
So I'm
of
gonna
him,
do
and
freaking.
leaving the poor kid with some serious survival
People are gonna be like, a lot of my
That
audience
only
is gonna be like,
worsened
what
when
the hell
country
is
of
this?
Duskar
What
was
am I
unjustly
supposed to
blamed
get
for the
this?
tragedy. Dimitri lamented that he
And
could
no one
not
does.
stop Argus's corrupt nobles.
Don't worry though,
All right,
when
this
those
is fire
same
emblem.
nobles rebelled a couple years later, he fought them like a beast, slaying them all with sadistic glee.
This savage side would emerge when Dimitri was reminded of the tragedy he witnessed. Otherwise, his chivalrous charm remained forefront.
With guidance from his dead dad,
Oh, what a
buddy
nice guy.
Rodrigue, Dimitri got into the
I
Guardian
certainly
Officer's
feel
for
Academy,
now-
where he led the Blue Lion's house and learned the mystic arts.
Well, he's not the most
AKA the
proficient
best
in it,
house.
but Dimitri did learn healing and elemental magics, able to call down lightning or even channel it through his weapons.
Letting him
that's gonna be
electrocute
cool in a
tons
fight.
of enemies at once. He learned this
Very.
and more from everyone's favorite Smash Bros. Character, Professor Violet.
Assuming you
Marla.
picked Dimitri's Blue Lions when you played Fire Emblem Three
Oh,
Let's
Houses.
yep,
go.
yep,
Oh,
we're gonna
that's
argue
awesome.
about it.
Here, but his story turns
Oh, I
out
love
very
that.
differently depending on the path chosen.
I love
Aside
it even
from the
more
Blue
because
Lions,
apparently
there's
Xander
Edelgard's
Moses is
Black
also in this
Eagles.
episode,
And the
so he's
Golden
doing.
Deer,
He's the one
led
who's
by the
actually.
crafty Claude Von Regan, aka
I like it. It's cool.
Alright, here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
For a far more cohesive unit.
Now, fear the deer,
Boo.
Wiz.
I have
Fear the
no
deer.
idea what you're talking about.
Ashen Wolves for
go.
life, losers!
Yo!
Yo!
Picks the god.
I
No
was
one
hoping they brought
Anyway,
up the
in
Ashen
Dimitri's
Wolf.
route, he mastered all manner of weaponry. Lances,
Let's go,
swords,
Jocelyn.
axes, gauntlets, and more.
Some of these weapons use magic, some use poison, and others are used to slay giant monsters. But all of them made Dimitri an ace at warfare, especially when Byleth taught him some special skills.
It's actually really cool that we're like
Seal
actually getting a
movement
Fire
technique
Emblem
stop
analysis
foes in
now.
their tracks.
I
Frozen
know.
Lance skewers enemies with ice, and Swordbreaker boosts evasion
Bro, this
against
editing is
blades.
so good.
To top it off, Dimitri
I
can
know,
enter
I
an
love it.
awakened state.
They're gonna have to mess this fight up bad if it's not gonna become my favorite of the season.
Yeah,
Everything
no, that-
changed when he suspected the one behind the tragedy of Dusker was his old dagger friend, Edelgard. Dun dun dun!
To end Fodlan's
my
oppressive
goodness.
crest system, Edelgard and her empire declared war on Fargus and the Church of Seros.
Dimitri could be cruel before, but after this betrayal, he snapped, vowing to kill every last one of them. For 5 years, he slaughtered the enemy, all to appease the voices
Really
that
just had to
called
get
for
that line in
Edelgard's
there.
head.
He's
Yeah.
not exaggerating.
Is that like
Dimitri
his
truly
line or
believed
something?
His dead loved
Yeah,
ones
yeah,
died
that is like the
But it's
iconic
no
Dimitri
peace
line.
until he claimed
Kill
I
every last
remember
one of
there was
them.
someone,
As if
someone
Prince
on
Turned
Twitter,
Murderer Hobo wasn't
like I made a
scary
joke
enough,
about
he
how,
will
oh,
be
I look like
ultimate
Dimitri,
lance,
so
the
someone on
hero's
Twitter said,
relic,
can you please say the
Edelgard.
line?
Forged from
Yeah,
the
I saw
bones
that
of
too,
dragon
yeah.
like
Typically
Neptune,
gave you the line to say, so I was like,
much
I said it,
stronger
and
than
like,
ordinary metal. It can pierce any armor.
Say
I never
it,
in my
say
life
the
have I
thing.
felt more
And
powerful.
only crest bearers can wield it without mutating into a monstrous black
Yeah.
beast.
With his
Yeah,
legs,
that's what
Dimitri
happened to me.
kept Killing, but no bloodshed could
Man, I
calm
hate
his
when that
mind.
happens.
He reached peak war crimes, torturing
Peak
an enemy
war crimes.
commander in blind rage.
Peak
But
war
when his
crimes.
actions led to
That's my
Rodrigue
new-
making
that's my
the
new,
ultimate sacrifice, Dimitri was broken, terrified of yet another voice haunting him.
Except this time, he had his professor to help him out. We really gotta pay teachers more, y'all.
Dimitri still
Yes.
Facts.
Okay, Violet.
But
But-
Facts.
for
Oh my
some
god.
reason,
W
he
boomstick. Common
neglected
boomstick dummy.
and made a choice.
Instead of killing every last one of them, he would save every last one by retaking Fargus's capital.
A task
Lame.
this wretch turned savior king had
You're a
to
fucking
strike.
psychopath, Luke.
Dimitri has dodged
Oh,
the
don't worry,
years
don't
going
worry,
Mach
Luke.
60,
He'd save
decimated a
people by
squad of
killing other
soldiers with
people.
one
Yeah.
spear through and defeated a wizard from
They
the
put,
magic Illuminati.
they made
This
Guts
is
faster than
Tallus,
Dimitri.
whose
What?
power shook a futuristic underground city.
And Dimitri just walked through his magic like it was
Oh,
nothing.
God.
Dimitri's also more than a match for Edelgard, who, in her room,
Oh, yep,
bested the
yep.
Archbishop of the Church of Seros,
Yep,
Rhea.
there we
This
go.
is
We get the
important 'cause
scaling.
After
Okay.
dragging it up, Rhea
I was
survived
waiting
two
for this.
Drag it up.
javelins of light, aka magic nukes. Jeez, and Dimitri
Yeah.
can fight on her level?
Indeed, but in the end,
Yeah,
despite
alright.
Okay, they didn't give any
That's
street
That's
stats. for him.
absolutely
He was
good.
hesitant
That
to
is
help
that is
Edelgard.
all I
I don't know.
know.
They put Dimitri at Mach 66 when they put Guts at like Mach 146 or 148 or whatever.
And then Edelgard pulled a
So I'm
fast
scared
one
they're gonna say,
and
"Oh,
prison.
he's much faster."
Dimitri definitely
He also
felt
gave him
that
seal
irony.
movement
The
though.
war was
That's
over.
a
fair
skill.
enough.
With his
So
allies
they're probably
at his
gonna
side,
factor that in
Dimitri
there.
claimed
too.
Yeah.
his place as a just king.
Unless, you know, you picked a different house. His story doesn't end very happy in those.
But though the
Uh-oh.
voices of the dead will haunt Dimitri until his final breath.
That's why if you ever
so
pick
long as he has
Edelgard,
friends,
you're dead to me.
conviction, and compassion for
Yeah,
the living
everyone,
will thrive.
make sure that people feel like a bad person for their choices in a video game.
This episode of Capital
Absolutely.
sponsored by
If they don't pick the golden
Plant.
deers, tell them they're wrong.
Yeah.
We
They
must
didn't
begin
give any
with all
string stats for
possibilities.
Dimitri, so I'm kind of worried, but I still think he's gonna
Oh
take it.
no, heroes!
Okay. We're
Oh
we're,
shit.
We're out of that.
We're
God,
fucked.
I'm so excited to see this fight. Oh my god. This
Let's
is
just
good.
get on to it, man.
Alright, yeah, no betting. Go Dimitri. Sorry guys, I'm so sorry.
Rooting betting Dimitri.
Yeah. Oh god, I'm so nervous. I just want to see how this fight goes, man.
Same.
100 men strong. What drives your slaughter?
The facial animations are kind of weird, I will admit.
Mm.
But I mean, that's kind of a given with these two. And even then, only sometimes.
To be fair, I think it's because the models clash just a little bit because
Yeah.
Dimitri looks like very anime-esque and then Guts has like a lot of detail.
Yeah. Even that, it is
I was
hard to
gonna
get
say,
Guts in that
ironically
3D.
enough, the actual anime character doesn't look as anime.
Yeah.
Oh, I understood that reference.
Alright, here we go.
Oh, he got
I
smacked.
love this part. I love that part so much.
Oh my god.
How dare you!
How dare you?
How dare you?
Tear your head from your shoulders! The dead must have their revenge!
He's like, shut up, bro. Oh god, this is so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is...
Oh man.
Ooh!
Ooh.
I think the Berserker is about to come
You know,
out.
the company's actually never really gotten into Fire Emblem outside of Smash.
Yeah,
This is portraying Fire Emblem a lot better than Smash does.
for real.
Oh, definitely. Smash
Oh,
does not
shoot.
portray Fire Emblem well.
Like, don't get me wrong, I love Smash. Smash is like one of my favorite games ever, but like a lot of the portrayal of their characters, I really don't like.
Oh god.
Yeah, it does not represent Fire Emblem well.
Especially I think
Promise.
freaking
All of them. Down to the
Yeah.
Yo!
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So sick.
oh god.
Ooh! Oh!
Oh god.
Enough of this!
Okay.
Oh. The crit. The fucking crit.
Oh god. Is that it? No, I don't think so. I knew it.
Oh.
No.
I think he's gonna win. He might win. Oh shit!
Oh.
Oh shit. What's going on?
Still standing? So we're both shackled to the dead. You foul beasts will not have his soul!
Yo!
Let's go.
Oh, that's so cool.
Oh my god, I love that. Oh.
Oh my god!
I don't know
That
what's
was so
scarier,
good.
Dimitri the demon or
That's my
still
favorite of the
standing
season.
There.
I might
No,
change it later, but
Oh my-
as of
Okay.
now.
Fast enough to dodge lightning.
I
Guts actually
love
had a slight
Stitch versus
speed
Rocket's
advantage over
ending,
Dimitri, though skills like
but-
speed movement and
I'm
Sword
honestly still
Breaker helped
surprised that they
Dimitri
gave
close
Guts
the gap.
Yeah.
While Dimitri had some minor
But, like,
healing magic to
I,
fall back on, it
like
wasn't
obviously
gonna
I do
compete
love.
with the
I'm
ride
still gonna
during
say
the
that Stitch
Berserker
versus
armor.
Rocket's probably my favorite
Dimitri's
episode of the
absurd
season,
strength
but this
and
is a
wide repeated
close
weapons
second.
abilities
For
gave
real,
him
yeah.
I'd probably even
ways
say it's
to wear
tied with
Guts
Stitch versus
down.
Rocket as my
Against
favorite.
Dimitri's electricity magic, Guts' sword
I might
and
end up
armor
changing
were
my
vulnerable
mind
compared
later,
to
but
making
like
every
as of now.
opportunity to electrocute
Yeah.
I'm not
Guts
sure how
has
this
defeated
stacks
lightning
up to
callers before,
Kilo versus
but he
Meat Star
needed help,
Chosen
not to
Born.
mention
Yeah.
moves like
Definitely top 3
atrocity
episode of
can
the
pierce through
season.
armored foes, bypassing
A
half
very
the
Oh my
point
God,
of
I'm-
wearing the Berserker armor.
Guts could power through
My
some
stu-
of
like, I
Airflow's
might just,
damage,
like,
but he
stomach
wasn't
feels, like,
invincible.
queasy right
He
now,
could
bro.
not heal from
Like, I'm
fatal
just-
wounds.
Then there's
that
Bone
was so
Fighter's raw
good.
power.
Oh my God.
Slaying demons is
Dude,
really impressive,
that
obviously,
was-
but not always on par with magic nukes.
Remember, in Edelgard's route, she defeated Rhea, who survived 2 Javelins of Light. In Dimitri's route, he defeated Edelgard while she was a powered-up crest monster. That happened.
It's nice
So
to
if
see an
Rhea could
episode
take on the javelins
where
of light,
one character
Dimitri
is
should be at a
able to
similar level.
acknowledge that
So
the other
let's
character
find out
died
how
and
strong
doesn't
a
go for the
javelin is.
absolute
In
overkill
Fogland's
for
lore,
no reason
several
at all.
javelins decimated
Pasta
the forest,
versus-
forming the valley. of
Pasta.
Horror. However, the exact
Deku
number of
versus
javelins used to
pasta.
create The valley was never
Deku
given,
versus
making
pasta.
the power of an
Yeah.
individual javelin unclear.
But we do know the javelins in this attack were supposed to hit
Deku
the
Nuts
Garreg
versus
Mach
Pasta
Monastery
visual.
until the goddess Sothis noped them away and they hit the forest instead.
We
So
also
for Stevie,
know that
yo
javelins of light are
ho!
not limitless, with typically no more than 6 being
people are
used at
probably not
once,
even gonna know
even
what I'm
against
talking
structures
about when I
similar in
say
size
that.
to Garreg Mach.
So, if a similar amount were used in the attack that made the valley, each javelin would pack a payload that's over 3 gigatons of TNT.
Jesus.
Damn.
Even if we severely lowballed this and said the destruction was divided between 10, 50, or even 100 different
Notably
javelins
slow.
of light,
Okay.
surviving
I didn't know he
2
was slower.
javelins would still be greater than
Honestly,
the best
I'm
of Guts'
surprised
feat.
that they
even
went with
scaled to the
Guts
sea
being
god.
faster.
Guts' persistence meant he wouldn't go down easy.
It's-
but against
it's one of those
Dimitri's
things where
inhuman
there's,
strength,
like,
devastating abilities, and
several
fervent
things that
willpower,
you
it
could
was just a
do to
matter of time
scale,
before the vengeful king
like Dimitri
wore
to
through
some
him.
like
Saying it makes me berserk, but Guts could only
lightning
go so
timing,
far.
like faster than light
The winner
stuff, but
is
it's also very
Dimitri
like
Alexandra
debatable.
Playfit.
So
Yeah.
it's fair that they wouldn't want to
Thanks
count
for
some like
watching.
magic stuff.
Oh shit.
The
Okay, who is the voice
Stay tuned.
actors? Oh right, the Xander Mob. Oh,
It was Xander Mobus and Kevin Andrew Rivera.
Voices
which
of
they
the
did.
Dead?
They did so good.
Of course, Liam was a voice.
Of
Liam.
according to Cole, the next episode is a Marvel versus DC episode. So
Damn,
Are you
really?
kidding
place
me?
your bets now, ladies and
Again?
gentlemen.
I don't know if I believe him, but damn, because we just
Dormammu
got one
versus
last episode.
Trigon.
Yeah,
How
but
funny would it be if it's Dormammu versus Trigon?
If it's
immediately
a Marvel
after
versus
Raven gets
DC
on?
match, I hope it's Mysterio versus Scarecrow.
I feel like they'd
David
save that for
Letterman releasing
Halloween.
every
I'm
two
gonna
weeks.
say
I don't believe
Get
him,
new
but
parts
hold
let's
it, hold it.
content.
let's just see.
Planet level members
Let's
even
see.
see death battles
Alright,
before
fine.
anyone else, so don't miss out.
oh,
Okay.
Swamp Thing versus Man.
You go for oh
Oh, Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer.
Eh.
Yeah, that's about my opinion. Why Silver Surfer?
That's
Damn.
yeah.
Super Skrull was right there.
They really sandwiched this episode of all episodes between the two like most lukewarm possible matchups.
Damn.
That's yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Jean, but
We've had a
like,
lot of Marvel this season.
yeah, we have. But like, I'm still baffled why they went with Silver Surfer and not fucking Super Skrull, considering Super Skrull is probably Jean's like biggest matchup outside of Piccolo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know why they needed to do this. I can at least
Oh,
kind of
God.
see why like Jean versus Raven was done.
yeah, because you know, that was a big matchup. But like again, why
Genuinely,
they?
I don't think I've seen a single person ask for this.
Honestly,
To be
I kind of wanted Silver Surfer to fight Frieza. I'm not even gonna lie.
Fair.
That would have been cool.
Why do they even have any connections?
They have a few, but like, I don't know, I can't really list them off at the top of my head. Damn. Well, that's lame.
I mean, if you wanted a Marvel versus DC fight with Silver Surfer, Black Racer was right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
At least it's not Martian Manhunter versus Vision.
yeah, they should
that would've
save
been so
Vision
much
for
worse.
if they want to do a Marvel versus DC matchup for Vision. They should save him for Red Tornado.
Yeah. Really, like,
Yeah,
we just got
definitely.
like the Marvel versus DC like cosmic like outer scale. Now we just have another one. So this one like
Now we have another one, and
This
like
is-
I'm pretty sure. I don't want to say Martian fully scales to Superman, but like I'm sure he can get to like somewhere between like multiversal or something because DC Heralds are fucking busted.
yeah.
But Silver
Yeah.
Surfer, like I'm pretty sure he's straight up outerversal. So
Yeah. Silver Surfer's pretty
Yeah.
busted.
yeah,
Man.
I mean, I guess
that
that's
was-
something to look forward to.
I guess.
Silver Surfer getting representation.
yeah, I do like Silver Surfer, but
Dude,
like
this
and
episode's
like,
coming out like the day before I go back to school, so like now I don't have anything to look forward to.
Damn.
I mean,
I'm still gonna look forward to the episode, but still.
I was
It's
really
like-
hoping for something different. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, even if it wasn't freaking Chaos versus Kyogre, like I said in the chat earlier, but like,
And we got in the span of 8 episodes, like we've had 3 Marvel versus DC fights. 3
Yeah.
of them.
3.
I don't want to say that this is a bad announcement necessarily, but it's just
It's just,
very poorly placed.
Yeah.
especially since we just got a fucking like a banger episode with this one.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. Like pays
Like-
the bills and stuff, but like, you just had one. At least like,
Yeah.
I really hope.
At least wait a couple of episodes before. Hell, I would
And
even.
it's like what
I'd
this says
say-
to me too is specifically is that like if they couldn't wait like even a couple episodes after Jean versus Raven to do another one of these, what does that say about how they were able to space out the rest of the season? Like, are we gonna get another Marvel versus DC fight later on?
Oh
Is that why
god.
is that why this is here? Because they couldn't put two like next to each other later on?
Damn.
Like, what? I don't want to say this kills my hype for the rest of the season, especially because we do know that there are some really good matchups coming up. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah, like Kolek.
if they're gonna do this, who's to say that they're not gonna like do more of these in the rest of the season?
We're gonna get like a lot more freaking like basic, boring cape shit fights, and
I'm actually praying that this is like the last Marvel versus DC fight this
no,
season.
I'm the same.
I really
take some
don't
more,
want this
like,
season.
Marvel and DC like fights. I'll take maybe a couple more, but like, man.
Yeah, that's about it.
I'm praying that the season doesn't end up like taking a sour turn in the second half, because this is not a great sign.
I mean, half the episodes this half have been Marvel or DC episodes. 3 of them have been Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what happened with season 7, and I'm sure it'll be good, but like, I don't even know. Just
Then again, at the same time, I'm not gonna doubt that this episode's probably gonna be really good.
yeah.
No,
I'm
Matchup wise though, this feels a little disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm not really interested.
Honestly, I feel like having 2 Marvel versus DC matchups in like the first half of the season, I feel like that was pushing it a little bit.
Yeah.
This 3, only like a little over halfway through the season. That's for what's supposed to be such a big season, like a big deal for the show. Some of these matchups really aren't conveying that well.
Yeah.
You have
like,
some
the episodes
absolute
have been
heavy
really
hitters.
good.
Don't get me wrong. Like
Yeah.
Like Chosen Born, Stitch versus Rocket. This episode.
This episode,
Some
but like,
very huge matchups.
I just want like
Obviously,
fun
we got, like
matchups,
Bill
man.
versus Discord and Colex coming up. Like, those are huge. It feels like this isn't really the season of huge matchups like it should be, so much as it is a season that just so happens to have some good matchups now.
Yeah. I really hope they redeem themselves with like this in the second half.
It's like Ant-Man versus Adam. That was pretty highly requested. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and if they're gonna do
don't
Marvel versus
think
DC,
I've
I just
seen-
want them to do like interesting like matches.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is not
seen
interesting. It's
anybody
just gonna
ask
be
for,
like, oh guys,
This
they're
or
omniversal
Killua
again.
versus Misaka, or like I don't think anybody has been asking for Jean versus Raven too much recently either. Specifically,
Yeah.
Like and as much as I love Killua versus Misaka, yeah, no, like that one kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You know
Matchup
what? You know
wise.
what I think the worst part about this is
What?
that this episode, it probably, don't quote me on this, but I'm 90% sure that it takes up the star icon on the Cipher wheel.
Oh, God,
Oh
you're
my
right.
god, you're right.
Because, they're both from space
It
and stars and shit, and like, and on like the other hand,
Aw.
it could be the freaking switcheroo icon, because
Yeah, they were originally
Marvel
villains.
Manhunter can shapeshift, but like,
Maybe.
I mean, Manhunter and Silver Surfer had to get on Death Battle eventually.
but like, not against each other.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that too. I feel like this kind of kills some of the hype for the Cipher wheel too.
Yeah.
So much of the speculation behind the Cipher wheel just kind of goes out the window when you start throwing Marvel versus DC matchups into these slots, because at that point it's like, okay, so why even speculate that some of these are going to be something hype?
Because
Like freaking the recycling logo, well, that could just be a character who fucking recycles in Marvel versus DC or some shit like that.
a good citizen.
A good
Who's to say
citizen.
who's to say the suit isn't like Kira versus Adachi and is instead like another Batman episode? Another Batman versus
Who's to
Marvel
freaking
episode.
say that the freaking, I don't know, the skull and crossbone, are there any pirates in Marvel than DC?
I'd very much say so, even though I don't know any. There's gotta be some.
Probably.
Huh.
Yeah.
I psyched myself up for this episode to see.
Dude, I was like so excited to see the next time. Like, obviously, I was still hyped for this, but it's like, oh, I don't know what the next time is. Like, I always get excited. That's why I really hate it when they like reveal like all of this, and obviously that allows for like surprise hype matchups.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, and like we're not saying that. I'm not saying that they have to like freaking. Like, if it's a Marvel versus DC matchup, they all have to say, "Oh yeah, the next matchup, Marvel versus DC." There you go. There's the date. There's the thing. Let's move on. I'm just like, if it's gonna be a Marvel versus DC matchup, at least make it interesting.
And the thing I'm most disappointed about is that we literally just got one.
We just got exactly.
Like, Marvel and DC gets used like usually pretty close to each other a lot of times, but most of the time, like, even if there is a Marvel versus DC fight, like, they usually like branch out to other series after the fact.
Yeah, I was gonna say, especially considering the fact that like Ant-Man versus Atom is very different.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways to like Jean versus Raven, and they were spaced out pretty well.
Yeah, just the thing I don't like about these matchups
This feels like it's going to be very similar to Jean versus Raven, and it's like 2 episodes apart. There's a single episode in between them.
Yeah. Oh.
At a certain point,
I
don't want to see more like high-tier Marvel versus DC heralds.
No,
same. They're just boring. Like, that's the reason I want like so many matches that are just like not like low tier, but like I guess that's the right word.
I would like to point out that this is the 20 including Martian versus Surfer. This is it's like the amount of Marvel versus DC episodes we've had on Death Battle.
This like the 29th?
This is the 29th.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The 29th Marvel versus DC episode on Death Battle.
Damn.
It sucks because it feels like recently they've been doing such a good job of not like oversaturating Marvel versus DC fights. So to see this happen in such a big season,
yeah,
it's a little deflating.
Huh.
I mean, I guess the best we can do is just go into this with our chin up. Like this,
yeah, I don't like when a
fight.
matchup or something just like kills my interest or something, because like I'll always see people like, man, people always say like they're skipping this one just because of the match. I'm like, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. Like,
you know what?
It just doesn't give me a lot to look forward to.
I'm gonna say it, and I know a lot of y'all will probably be like either not surprised or very surprised, but I'd honestly rather have Kirby versus Mario than this.
Same.
And this is coming.
I'll take Kirby versus Mario. I want Mario versus Mickey, but I'll take Kirby versus Mario. It still has a lot of potential, and it gets my.
It's got more potential than this, even if the connections are kind of dog shit if you think about it.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm going one step further. I'd rather have freaking Superman versus Goku 3 than this.
I guess. I mean, it's still a hype matchup, you know.
I know. I'm just like,
I'm not even mad about this matchup. I'm just disappointed.
I'm just completely neutral to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm at least kind of looking forward to seeing like Silver Surfer get analyzed.
Yeah,
that'll be
something.
He's probably one of like the coolest characters in the Marvel series.
Yeah.
But, like,
exactly. Yeah. There's something there at least.
Yeah.
It's just again, I think the placement of this episode and the fact that it's our 3rd Marvel vs. DC episode of the season, and we're only just barely like halfway.
This is the halfway point.
Yeah, this is the halfway.
Like specifically this episode now, this next time, is going to be like 9th episode of the season. So we're like that's gonna be just over the halfway point. It's gonna be our 3rd Marvel vs. DC of the season.
Maybe they like know how lukewarm people are to Marvel vs. DC matchups, so maybe it's possible they just want to get out of the way so like the rest of the season can just be like nonstop hype or something. Because like they keep hyping this up as like such a big season with like some of the biggest matches in Death Battle history, and so far like there have been like a lot of huge matches like Vader versus Obito, Guts versus Dimitri, Stitch versus Rocket, Chosen.
Vader,
like those have been like some really hype matchups, and
definitely.
But like 3/8 of the season just like. Not actually 2/8 of the season have just been like disappointing matches.
Because at least like with Kahlua versus Misaka, at least it was like two characters from two series that haven't been covered on Death Battle before.
Yeah, it was still
With
interesting.
the other,
Like
Yeah.
obviously,
other
I wasn't
two-
like necessarily like hyped for that episode, but I wasn't like straight up disappointed.
yeah, because at least we were getting something new.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not gonna lie. When I had seen the Ant-Man versus Adam was going to be the season opener, I kind of figured that was a smart move. The sole reason of it, like the first episode is naturally going to carry more hype because it's the first episode of the season. So having them put like a Marvel versus DC matchup there where it's going to be hype even as a Marvel versus DC matchup, especially because it's one that was requested. That was a smart move, and I was under the impression at the time that that was just going to be like the Marvel versus DC matchup so they could make way for the other ones to just naturally carry more hype.
Yeah.
Mm.
Kinda takes a little bit away from that for me in terms of like how smart I think the placement of that episode was.
I mean, I still think it was a smart move because I doubt like people would really be that hyped for the season premiere that's like Jean versus Raven or Martian Manhunter versus Silver Surfer. Like Ant-Man versus Venom, that was requested. That was like requested a lot, and it allows for a lot of potential. So I think Ant-Man versus Adam and the premieres, that was a smart move.
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
no,
I think
definitely. Like
if they were going to do this episode, I feel like maybe it would have been best to save it for like episode 11.
I feel like they maybe should have saved it for like so maybe after like whatever comes next, like what if it, like let's just say that the next two episodes after Guts versus Dimitri were like, I don't know, Captain Planet versus whoever, and then we got to like one of the like the freaking champion ballot ones, which like either or Bill Discord or Cole Alex.
yeah.
And then they go on to Martian versus Surfer. Then that would have been fine because at least then we don't know, we like it's not completely like getting overshadowed by other episodes because it's not freaking happening back to back with Phoenix versus Raven.
Yeah. This is kind
Anyway,
of
that's
this is kind of like the opposite of like Snake Sam, Beast Goliath, and then Tony Lex, because that was just like a mediocre episode, like sandwiched in between like two of some of the most hype episodes of season 2, and like this is kind of just like the opposite. Like Guts vs. Dimitri was hype as hell, and then this one is just.
I was gonna say, and I think the thing that sucks about this, especially to me, is that it feels like going from an episode like this to next time, at that point, we're just kind of waiting for the episode after this. So it ends up turning into like a month-long like waiting period. Rather than actually like. And the fact that it put two of these so close to each other, that's like 2 months where the only notable like episode that we've gotten announced now was Guts versus Dimitri, and the rest of like 2 months is kind of just dead waiting for a Marvel versus DC matchup.
This is like the second time it happened because we've had like Vader versus Obito, and then we had to wait 2 weeks to just get like the chance at another hype matchup, and now this is the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what you said kind of reminded me of this thing I saw at one time. It was just like Red versus Blue got announced, and then someone on the Death Battle subreddit was kind of like being over dramatic about it. He was like, "Man, I'm not excited for this episode at all. I can't believe we have to wait 4 more weeks for a new death battle." And then that episode ended up getting postponed, and
because of
Sean versus
John
Saber
Saberwolf.
Wait, no, John versus Saber. Yeah, Saberwolf versus John. Whatever.
Yeah.
That ended up being 4 weeks after. What was it? Venom versus Corona, because Venom versus Corona got pushed back. So yeah, they were right. 4 more weeks.
Yeah, this stings especially because me personally, I've always loved this show less for the debating aspect and more so for like the crossover. I absolutely love being able to
These
see
kind of
two
matchups do not
characters.
taint the show for me at all. It's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where like Zatanna versus Scarlet Witch, Jean versus Raven, Ant-Man versus Adam, like this matchup.
Stranger
Debate-wise, like debate-wise, yeah, no, there's something there definitely. And if you're into the debating aspect of the show, yeah, you might have some fun with this. Me personally, it just like it doesn't really feel like there's much in these matchups that appeals to me.
Yeah. At least we know that next time it's like guaranteed to be a high matchup, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you know what? You know what actually probably would have been better
Yeah.
is instead of like I mean, I know this is it's basically impossible to do this considering how episodes are planned and
Are you
made.
gonna like suggest this like came right after Jean versus Raven?
No, not at all. But like, I feel like if they really wanted to do a Marvel versus DC episode, and they wanted to make it like really hype, then, and I know this is gonna sound very entitled of me, but then they could have done a Blue Beetle episode, considering that the movie is basically it's a week away. It would be like a little cross version.
Honestly, yeah, I know.
And Blue Beetle is like a beloved character, and a lot of people are actually pretty excited to see the movie and stuff like that. And it would have been cool. But like, I mean, even if it had to be a Marvel vs. DC episode, if it was Blue Beetle, that would probably give people something to be hyped for because Blue Beetle is a cool character. Yeah. And like, not saying that these two aren't cool characters, but like, they're cool characters, but not when they're fighting each other, considering that, like, both of them, I'm pretty sure, have, like, much more requested matchups.
So, yeah. Who do people want Silver Surfer to fight?
I mean, I've obviously heard, like, the Black Racer from DC, because, you know, they're color-coordinated race, like, people who rocket through space and things like that.
Yeah.
On, like, the surfboard and skis and stuff like that. It's confusing. But, like... And I have heard of both Super Skrull for Martian Manhunter as well as Piccolo, and I'm not against him fighting Piccolo, but like it's another Dragon Ball versus DC where the DC character like God stomps, even with Piccolo's upgrades. But like it's like that's a Dragon Ball episode, and we haven't gotten a Dragon Ball episode this season actually, so
you know
that
what?
probably
At
would
the
have
very
been
least
somewhat exciting.
Even if Piccolo loses. I think them bringing out like Orange Piccolo would be enough to justify.
Would be hype, yeah.
Like that would be hype enough for people to want to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it would like basically everyone would just be hyped for Piccolo and not John, but
yeah,
they'd be hyped.
Plus, that probably would debatably create even more discourse behind it, where people would be very upset that like Orange Piccolo of all characters lost, but.
Yeah.
To be fair,
that's inevitably going to happen. To be fair, that always happens when a character people like gets onto the show.
Yeah.
My computer might crash again. It does that a lot when I'm recording. So.
Do we stop the recording now and then just?
Now we can keep going until it might crash, or until we just want to get off. Maybe do something.
Well, let's hope.
Maybe do something else.
Oh. Following up on what I was saying earlier about like the crossover aspect of these episodes being one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
I still have very consistently enjoyed these like Marvel versus DC episodes. Like, don't get me wrong. the last time the actual crossover aspect of a Marvel vs. DC episode has gotten me interested was Batman vs. Iron Man. That was...
Really?
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie.
I would have expected like Black Adam versus Apocalypse.
That was
one-
more
that
like a
one-
community hype. Like without
Yeah,
I was gonna say
without all the
Yes,
memes,
that
like
one
that episode would not
almost-
have been that hype.
that one almost hits the levels that I was expecting, but it's just like the last one that really felt interesting to me on like a level, seeing like these two characters actually like hitting each other. In that regard, absolutely, I think the last Marvel vs. DC episode that hit that was Batman vs. Iron Man, because they did a very good job of like
Yeah,
working their dynamic into the fight, and the idea that they knew each other.
even
I
if
love that.
freaking planet level hammer laser Tony has beat the freaking multiversal plus Hellbat suit.
Yeah.
But you know what?
It feels like we haven't gotten anything quite as interesting, although Black Adam versus Apocalypse, like I said, did get close. That was a very good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
It feels like we haven't had an interesting dynamic where I'd been into seeing those two characters interact for these two series in forever now.
If they really wanted to get us hyped, they would have used Boss Baby versus Springtrap. Just saying.
For real.
Yeah.
And after it came out, people are still talking about the lore, or as Matt Pat would say, the lore.
The Lord!
Actually, Boomstick said it like that too. She said the lore.
The lore is. Oh god, that hurt my throat. I need water. Give me a minute.
Give it a minute.
No,
Yeah.
There's another thing I've been thinking of recently. For the amount of times we have seen DC and Marvel characters on this show,
Yeah.
it really upsets me that we haven't seen like Spider-Man make a return yet.
For
Specifically,
real.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's come back like what? 4 times? 3 times? And Spider-Man hasn't come back once. And I would not be a huge fan of Spider-Man versus Ladybug, but at least he'd like get another episode.
I
Like,
was gonna
I really
say,
want him to fight Donatello. I really want him to fight Donatello.
I really want freaking Randy Cunningham versus Ladybug instead.
That would be
of
pretty
Spider-Man
cool.
versus Ladybug.
it's like I don't understand why they keep insisting on specifically doing these types of matchups, and they can still do Marvel and DC episodes with hype matchups that people really want to see.
There's like
I think
After
Spider-Man
Ant-Man
is
versus
a really
Adam.
good example of that. There's
Yeah.
so many like Spider-Man matchups that people want to see, even if some aren't as good as others to certain people. Just people would love to see Spider-Man back.
I
Looking
would.
at
Spider-Man's
this-
one of my favorite. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. Speaking of, I really got to
It's-
start my playthrough, my replay through. Of
Yeah.
The 2018 team. I really got to make a video on that. And you want to know an idea I had yesterday?
What?
I had an idea, an awful idea. I have
You had a
access. So
wonderful
let's
awful
just
idea?
say I have access to every single Tom and Jerry movie. And I
No.
got an idea.
Oh.
I have a feeling I might do that instead of just like a Christmas video this December. Because like the Home Alone video, that was like a huge passion project for me. I feel like
Oh,
this would
yeah.
be on the same like vein as that. Because like Tom and Jerry,
Yeah.
that's my favorite cartoon. And like
Yeah.
I want to see all the movies. I've seen like a lot of them in my childhood. But there's like a lot that I haven't seen.
That is a hype video
had a-
announcement.
It's not really an announcement, but like yeah, I guess so.
I had a video I was like thinking about video ideas the other day. So obviously I've got my like freaking review each toy you got in 2023 and stuff like that. And like I've still got a couple coming. So there's a shitload of stuff coming. And then I also had an idea where I would make a video talking about like certain hot takes from like for like pop culture and stuff, because like originally it was gonna be like a gaming thing, but like the more I think about it, I didn't really have a lot of gaming hot takes, so to speak. So I just did it. I switched it to pop culture. So there are a lot of stuff that I feel like people are gonna beat me with a stick with. Like here's one, for example. Hal Jordan beating Ben 10 was completely right.
Yeah, that'll get you canceled.
That's gonna get me canceled.
Slippery slope there, Cat.
Yeah, no. I am ready. I will come over. I will just say, y'all, all your arguments are like the same shit. It's the fucking soda bro effect or nothing, and it doesn't work anyway because Hal Jordan is just that much of a goat. And then there's another one I have where like I want to make a continuation for my most wanted matchups video. So there was I just want to suggest one right now. So we haven't gotten Charizard on the show in a while. And Charizard is, well, he's not my favorite Pokemon, but he is a Pokemon that I love to pieces. So, but like, the problem is he doesn't really have that many matchups that are either A, well known, or B, just Digimon again. So, but there is one, and it's Charizard versus Tiger Shark from Invisimals.
Oh.
Okay.
I thought
that
for sure you were gonna say like Charizard versus Rathalos.
No, fuck that. Okay, look, that is like probably the one they'll go with if they ever bring Charizard back, and they probably will bring Charizard back considering how popular he is. But like,
Who was the guy he like fought in Tempest Blitz? He didn't like fight him, but you know.
yeah. But,
yeah, I don't.
Tempest Blitz. Let's see. Chiron versus it's Legends with a Z.
But
I don't know who that is.
no. So I was like cruising through the Death Battle matchups subreddit, and I found this matchup. And the connections are, so they're blue-eyed monsters who are iconic within their respective gaming franchises. They both start out as cute, smaller variants of their final forms. They're also both real, but also mythical creatures in their worlds. Both are creatures who can be captured and carried around within smaller tech and used to fight others of their kind. One looks like a dragon, and the other looks like a tiger and a shark feast. That's not really a connection. But, like, so one... actually, no, hold on, sorry. It is a connection. I'm just an idiot. So one looks like a dragon, and the other looks like a tiger and a shark fused together, but neither have any proper relation with the dragon-type Pokemon or tigers and sharks. Both are proud combatants with warrior hearts and love to fight. Both have formed loyal bonds with young humans who serve as the heroic protagonists of their first adaptations. Both have time and time again gone up against creatures stronger than them, rarely ever shown fear, and succeeded against seemingly impossible odds. Both have fought an evil version of themselves. Ash's Charizard battled Mewtwo's Charizard clone in the first movie, and Tiger Shark has taken on Dark Tiger Shark, though neither of them is evil necessarily. Both can turn into stronger and more ferocious black-colored forms, Mega Charizard X and Dark Tiger Shark. Both have received extra attention and more forms compared to other regular Invisimals or Pokemon. Charizard is the only... the point is, there is a lot of freaking connections between the two, and I really like the matchup, and I'm really sad because it's probably never going to happen because they're going to go with fucking Charizard versus Rathalos instead.
I was about to say, like, halfway through that, I was like, all right, he should be about done by now. Those are some, those are some pretty good matchups.
I lost track.
Those are some pretty good connections, I guess. And then you just kept going.
I just kept going
and listing off more and more connections.
Like, I really like the matchup. It brings a new series onto Death Battle, and it brings Charizard back, and I love my boy, and I'm 90% sure he wins. because like you can have Pokemon get to island level because like some Pokemon can contend with Mega Pokemon.
I hate to be that guy. Everything you just said technically also applies to Charizard versus Rathalos. I'm personally, I'm not gonna say that I'm dying to see that episode necessarily. Do love Monster Hunter though, and I would love to see a monster from Monster Hunter get on there.
Monster Hunter would
feel
be hype.
Feel like if they're gonna put a Monster Hunter monster on the show, it's probably going to be Rathalos because that's the iconic one.
Yeah.
And he's probably gonna fight Charizard. I know. I've made peace with
At the very least. I'm pretty
like,
sure
Charizard,
that is base Charizard
never
W.
But
At the very least, I'm sure that is a base Charizard W. So.
But like also,
He
I would like
needs
to,
it.
I would
He
also like to point
absolutely
out that
needs
there
it.
isn't really a freaking there isn't really like there isn't a size difference between Charizard and Tiger Shark like there is between Charizard and Rathalos, because Rathalos is the size of a small hat or like a size of a small house, while Charizard is the size of a freaking I don't know a lamppost at best.
Yeah. Plus connections wise.
Yeah.
Tiger Shark seems like a much better fit for Charizard.
The only real difference the two have is that Charizard is a fire type. It's a fire type Pokemon, and I think Tiger Shark is a jungle elemental, Invisible.
I was really hoping you were gonna say like water, and I was gonna say,
Well,
we haven't had a fire versus
swim.
water fight.
He can swim, and he is a good swimmer, and that's like one advantage he has. While Charizard has like the advantage of being more mobile in the air. But no, it's like outside of that, there's still really good connections, and I really like it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no,
I see it.
absolutely. Sense.
That's why I
You
like.
sold me.
Yeah, you sold me too. That would be fun.
Absolutely.
So, anyways, now what?
Y'all got
No.
any matchups that you want to suggest?
No, off the top of my head.
Uh,
Lich King versus Nightmare.
That's a good one. That is a good one.
Yeah.
In matchup.
I do have another Archie Sonic matchup that that isn't like a super OP versus Mario or like the Flash or anything.
Impossible. What is
Sorry,
it?
just
I'm gonna post it in the Discord.
it's Archie Sonic versus Ulforce V Dramon. It's Archie Sonic versus the Digimon basically, but like this is a super OP like it's like I don't want to say it's on he's on par with freaking with Omnimon or Omegamon, but he's kind of close to that level. He's very powerful, but I don't really know where he exactly scales.
So where is Vegemon placed at?
He's definitely placed around like the multiversal range, like low complex multi. So it's like definitely it's like pretty close. But the connections are they're both blue heroes who protect their respective realities, but are known above all else for their utterly incomprehensible levels of speed. So it's another speedster matchup. That's pretty cool. They both possess something unique to their realities. Archie Sonic is a embodiment of chaos, and Ulforce Vidramon possesses the Ulforce. They're both part of a well-known hero group, the Freedom Fighters and the Royal Knights, that both protects their homes alongside being of royalty, Sally Acorn and Yggdrasil. So it's a pretty cool matchup. I do like it. It's probably what I want if Archie Sonic does return. Yeah.
You should see what I just posted in the group.
Oh, you dick. Brits talking about other Brits that live in almost identical country that is a 28-minute drive away. Savages.
Yeah, those savages.
That reminds me of this of the freaking the Simpsons joke, the brothers and sisters are not meant to get along well together. They're like Englishmen and Scots, or Japanese men and Scots, or Scots and other Scots.
I've seen
I'm
that.
Scotland. They ruined Scotland.
You don't Scottish people ruining Scotland.
Oh my god, I have lived here for 3 years, and yet I still cannot understand a single word a Scottish man says to me.
I'll poke your eyes out with my potato farm.
My favorite, I remember, I was like
Scottish
looking.
potato farm.
Yeah, that's more of an
if
Irish.
Capsirus vs. Potato King ever happens, it has to happen on a Scottish potato farm.
Yes.
I remember I was watching. I was on Twitter the other day, and like those things where it's like, oh, you've played this, oh, quote it then, and it's like it's for TF2. So then someone posted one of Soldier's lines, which is, "Scotland is not a real country. You are an Englishman in a dress." And that is the greatest line I've ever heard in my life.
They should really do Soldier versus Sarge.
Agreed. Considering that Soldier is probably like character-wise, he's probably my favorite in TF2.
Definitely.
Gameplay.
Actually, no, I wouldn't say he's my favorite. I meant Sarge is definitely my favorite of the Red Blue cast. Sarge
is the best. I love Sarge. But like in terms of like character wise in TF2, Soldier is by far my favorite.
Yeah.
But like in terms of gameplay, I'd say it's either Spy or Scout. I like Scout. Scout's fun.
I think Scout's my favorite of the group.
I always just like moving fast, and he has a shotgun. I love shotguns. Shotguns are cool. So
shotguns are pretty cool.
He has a shout hey.
Grass grows, birds fly, and buddy, I hurt people.
I'm a force of nature. If you was from where I was from, you'd be fucking dead.
That's from favorite. That's the music from Charizard vs. Scout.
Oh yeah, I remember that. It's actually I'm actually very sad they never got JT Music back for another track outside of.
That was made by JT Music.
No, yeah, that was the freaking Tracer. Yeah, that one. Well, that was made by JT Music, and they also did the track for Kings of Infinity and Miles vs. Static. Yeah, they also did Miles vs. Static, and it's like one of my favorite tracks ever. I love it to pieces.
Yeah. No, they did the regular like Tracer vs. Scout rap battle, but no, the track they used in the death battle is completely different. I think. Which sucks because that was like that was probably the only thing that actually could have made Tracer vs. Scout a good episode. Real, yeah.
Like I'm not even like against getting another Overwatch character in the in death battle.
Yeah,
I mean, Blizzard is shit.
Is it Jesse McCree versus Aaron Black? Is that how
yes, but they changed his name because the guy he was originally named after was a piece of shit, and he was part of the freaking controversy back in 2020 with Blizzard when they.
I was gonna say it sounds kind of not like Blizzard. Yeah.
His name is but they changed his name because they didn't want to have one of their main characters be like remembered by a freaking sexual assaulter, so they changed his name to Cole Cassidy, which it's not a bad name, and like it was definitely for the best, but like that doesn't really like cover up the things that you did. You still did a lot of shit things, Blizzard. So
yep. You guys want to like play something? For a bit.
I can. Just give me a minute. probably got to get my dinner now, so I'll be right back.
No.
Huh?
I know that this next time has been not the best. Like, Jean versus Raven was kind of a wet fart of a reveal. This is like whoopee cushion deflating.
Wah.
That being said, though, I'm not gonna let that take away from the fact that this episode was just fantastic, just
It was,
absolutely phenomenal.
I can't wait to rewatch it when I
Honestly,
gotta review it.
but that ending was so good too.
It was.
Like, the fight managed to get brutal, but they absolutely did capture that like emotional ending exactly how they should have.
For real, they did. That was something else.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if that's gonna be a constant with matchups this season, or like there's animosity between the characters, and then at the end there's just like respect, like between this and Vader versus Obito. So it's so good.
For real, it's been a really good bunch of episodes so far.
Yeah.
You know, I've been like meaning to
gonna
ask,
say.
like, I need some ideas for like an avatar or something. I need some sort of. I just kind of want to like maybe just change my like YouTube logo. It's kind of boring,
That's fair.
but I don't really know what, because I don't really feel like an avatar would like suit me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Cap. Because he's been
Ask
like...
what?
Whoa.
Oh my god, that was scary. But,
Hey, Cap. We definitely weren't talking shit about you.
no! I was not gonna ask you, what your most embarrassing story was.
Oh. You know what? I do have a very embarrassing story. But I made a vow that no one outside of my immediate family would know, so I'm not going to tell you.
We are your family now.
Yeah.
No!
We're pulling you into this circle, Cap.
Everyone's listening. Don't...
Okay,
Hey, King.
fine.
King.
You guys have to freaking tell an embarrassing story as well.
Hey, King,
Oh.
no one tell Cap that, we're recording right now.
Oh, you son of a bitch. No,
I said
You're
fuck in
recording.
second grade once.
You said fucking second grade once.
Yeah.
That's not embarrassing.
This little fucking snitch, like, tatted on me, bro. Like, I was like, nah, this kid was like, we went to go to a bathroom break, and, like, I come out, and this kid in front of me, he's just, like, freaking dancing for, like, no reason at all. And, I thought I was about to be the coolest person ever, so I stood up confidently, and I said, what the fuck are you doing? And this kid is, like, jaw drops, stares at me, and then he runs to the teacher's like, Teacher, he said a bad word! Yep.
Alright, King,
Send him to the principal's office and have him expelled!
do you have any embarrassing...
I don't really have. I have like plenty of embarrassing stories, but like they're not like very embarrassing. Like most of it is just like I waved at someone because I thought they were waving at me, but they were waving at someone behind me, like stuff like that.
Alright.
Oh no! Then there was the time I mispronounced cumin in my culinary class.
Oh.
I'm in.
Yep. Said it out loud too.
Yeah, I know what it is. I'm not saying it though.
King said it.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna. Alright. I'll tell you my embarrassing story. So, this is when I want you to do me a favor. I want you to cut this part out.
I'll just stop the
Because-
recording now. Alright, see
All
ya,
right.
bitches.